Okay, here we go. You know, I'm in the truck, as you can see, and I've been trying to make this video. This is the fifth time I've said this. The fifth time I've said this. Trying to get it onto YouTube, so I'm trying a different venue. And today's a medical travel day. You know, we're 100 miles from home at at Barbara's ophthalmologist appointment with the eye surgeon that took her out her cataract and put a new lens in there. So anyway, we were talking about the economy, and it's imperative that you understand that you know how the economy works in order to be able to at least make a educated guess at how things are going to play out. So you know, here I am sitting in a hot truck with a dog waiting on Barbara for her doctor's appointment. And we'll try this venue with a video camera instead of going directly through a video editor, and we'll see if that works. You know, there's all kinds of excuses that Google has. I mean, my Google Mail account has been in existence since Google has been in existence. When they first started offering them, I had to, and they claimed that they lost the account. You know, that I had to recover it, or you know, I had to do this, and so you know, I had to wait, and I had to give them all kinds of identification and all that kind of stuff. And then when I created this new channel, naturally that's attached to the Google Mail account, and so yeah, it's just been one excuse after another. But the fact of the matter is, they're messing with me. I'm the little guy. You know, I have a different viewpoint than what their agenda is. And you know, I can't really complain about it because they're a private company. YouTube is a private company. They have every right to shun me, do whatever they do, throttle me back, not let my videos be on their platform. I understand that, but without spending a lot of money, there is no alternative. They're a monopoly, and we'll discuss monopolies at some point. So, and of course they engage in monopolistic trade. You know, they don't, anything that's not in their ideology, anything that's not in the vein of their agenda, they won't allow on the channel. So, or on their platform. So, now I'm a classically trained Keynesian. I'm classically trained in Keynesian economics, just like every other economics major in North America. Well, I guess even Europe. So, at any rate, the differentiation is between socialism, communism, and capitalism. Now, I know that you guys have heard those terms before. Conservatives claim, you know, that the Democrats are liberals or socialist, and the liberals claim and the Democrats claim that the Republicans are obstructionist and, you know, whatever else. And so it's all, you know, a political game, and that's what destroys countries, is politics. So our country in North America, the United States of America, started out as a capitalist nation. In other words, our economy was governed by supply and demand. So, you know, I don't want to do this in form of a history lesson. So, supply and demand is simply a matter of when you're producing the raw materials for whatever the product is. It doesn't matter. You know, it's a natural resource, whether it's lumber or oil or coal or you know, precious metals or, you know, whatever. And when the demand, there's a certain demand for that. I mean, you wouldn't grow food if there were no demand for it. You'd only grow enough food for yourself. Yet farmers grow food for the entire population, and not just in the United States, worldwide. So there's a big demand, and that demand is the basis for not just the supply, but for pricing of the product. And that is all done in a free market. You know, the government doesn't get involved in that, any of that kind of stuff. You know, the producer, the farmer, let's say for food products, will say meat, beef. And because beef is in the headline these days, the price of beef has gone up considerably. But what they're not telling you is that the price of all commodities are going up significantly. The price of lumber is almost 60 cents a board foot. And, you know, up until the last couple of years, I've never seen that happen before. 60 cents a board foot is way high. So, at any rate, so what all you did, I'm a Keynesian economics, trained in Keynesian economics, which is a form of a social economics. The theories behind Keynesian economics is that the government, any government, can control the economy through the use of money, currency, either withholding the production of currency or with printing additional currency. And that is a form of socialism where the government controls things. In a free market economy, it's private industry that controls the production of goods and services. In a socialist economy, the government has their fingers in a lot of different stuff in the name of national defense or, you know, equality or, you know, whatever else, you know, they want to use in order for them to nationalize different companies, different groups of people that produce certain products. And that way, you know, they have control over how the entire supply of whatever it is they're nationalizing. In a communist country, the government controls all of it. So you can see that the United States is in between capitalism and socialism. And that's the way every society has always gone since the beginning of time, since the dawn of time. Every country has always, as the population grows, as the government gets bigger, the government tries to take control of more and more. They turn to socialism, which leads to communism, and then the entire economy fails. And that's happened time and time again throughout history in every civilization on the planet. And that is what we're going into now. You know, you have you have one group of politicians who want to socialize everything, want the government to control everything. And then you have another group of politicians who don't want to control, want the free market to work. And our Constitution was based on a free market economy, capitalism. And we get farther and farther away from that every year. And we turn more and more towards socialism every year. Just look at the outbreak of this sickness that's going around, this virus. You know, the government's taking control of the manufacture of ventilators, of face masks, and so forth and so on. The central banks are taking control of the money supply and how much money is issued, and you know, how, and the government buy. Well, that's for another time. How that works, how the central banks create money. But and so you're either in a communist country, a socialist country, or a capitalist country. And your economy is either free market, socialist based, or authoritarian. And in the United States, we're a mix of socialist and capitalist, because we're heading down the road toward socialism. Okay, so I was trained in Keynesian economics. There are other schools of economics. There's the Austrian School of Economics, and then there's a newer one called Modern Monetary Theory. They are all based in the theory that government and central banks can control the economy instead of supply and demand like in a free market economy. And they're all wrong. So that's what you need to understand about the economy, is that they're all wrong, which is why they get it wrong all the time. The Federal Reserve has never been right in their economic forecast, ever in history. Look it up. And the reason is because they believe that they can control the economy by controlling the currency, the supply of currency, and manipulating the interest rate. But the supply of the currency does manipulate the interest rate. Okay, you know, I'm saying this stuff and it's sounding a lot more complicated than it really is. There's a lot behind it. And, you know, you can devote your whole life to studying the economy, and you'll never be right. As long as you have that idea, you know, the academic idea that the government and the central banks can control the economy, you'll never be right. So, with that in mind, we're going to move on to some of the things that are happening, that will continue to happen, and that that way you get a rough idea of, you know, what the future looks like. And the future is not very far off, by the way. You know, I've done the forecasting and stuff for my lifetime, and so I'm not doing any more of that forecasting. So it'll be up to you, because I haven't forecasted for your lifetime. And if you're a young person, you know, you're looking at 40, 50 years. And, you know, whereas I'm an old person and I'm looking at maybe 5 to 7 years. So, we'll get into that, and you know, we'll go further. Depends on if, you know, if the video camera thing works, then that's good. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to struggle and continue to struggle with trying to get videos onto YouTube. So we'll just see how that plays out. So that's all I've got for this time. Until next time, toodaloo.